stacking wins, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure heavy, weigh a ton. Yeah.
Welcome to the Man Utd stream. Hope you're doing well. Friday night, best day of the week, isn't it? It's got to be the best day of the week. I always say this every Friday. I can't get enough of the feeling that I get. Friday feeling, I love it. The weekend ahead, there's so much to look forward to. And of course, when you've got football to look forward to on the weekend, it's always the best feeling. Man United in action against Arsenal. One of the biggest games I think Carrick is going to have in his short tenure at United. Well, we're thinking it's a short tenure. Depends what happens tomorrow on Sunday. It could be on if we win Arsenal. Well, I'm telling you, I think we're going to get all carried away. We're all going to get carried away, and we're all going to be thinking about maybe Carrick getting the full-time job. Maybe. But look, let's not get carried away. We're doing the preview show. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Sunday. Of course, it's going to be a huge test for United as a team that's got an interim manager in place. No one's fully sure what's going to happen. We're going to wait and find out whether this turns into a Carrick speciality or whether it was just a one-off game against City. But anyway, whilst you're coming in, guys, please make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe to the Man Utd stream channel. If it's the first time you've come across the channel, hit that subscribe so you can keep on top of everything concerning Man United and football. But anyway, let's jump straight into the Michael Carrick presser that we heard today, and he had some interesting things to say. So let's watch that together, and then we'll move on and discuss the actual game ahead, and we'll see whether we've got a chance or not. And I don't want to be pessimistic, but look, let's be honest, this is probably one of the hardest tests to face for Carrick. I would have liked this game to maybe have taken place a couple of weeks later, but unfortunately, we can't pick our matches. The first match we played against Arsenal was the first game of the season. If you remember, it was the first home game of the season at Old Trafford. I was there watching it live, and it wasn't the best result that we could have wanted. But we were optimistic at that time. Watching United play, United looked really good. United actually should at least have got a draw out of that game, and they didn't. So, it was unfortunate, and it was a clear mistake by, what is it, Bendia? Was it Bendia? I mean, oh my God, it's such a nice thing not to even talk about goalkeeper mistakes. And it's such a nice thing to have Senny Lemons in goals, and we're not focusing on goalkeeper performances. That is the most important thing for me. I think we can just enjoy watching Man United play without the fear of the goalkeeper not being able to catch the bloody ball. But anyway, let's listen to Carrick. Let's see what he has to say. Interesting presser. He's not like a Ruben Amorim kind of guy. You know, he's not going to come out and say lots of controversial stuff in the presser, but he's very calm. I feel like he's the best for Ineos and right now for United, because we don't want a fanfare. We've already got a big enough circus going on with the owners. We don't want the manager to come in and add to that. So let's listen to what he had to say.
First of all, looking ahead to the game, obviously you had a fantastic result last week. How's the mood been, and what's the team you're looking like?
I'm not going to tell you the team first off. But,
he's not going to tell us the team. Of course he's not. Well done, Carrick.
No, everyone
First rule of a manager.
Really well, actually. I mean, I can't say anything apart from the obvious. You know, it's been a good week. I think it was a big result, big performance, and a big kind of big uplift. You know, with the feeling and inside the stadium and it's getting that balance. You know, between taking the encouragement and the confidence from the game itself and the performance, and keeping level-headed and our feet on the ground. Now we've got another big game coming up, and one game doesn't change.
Massive game, big game, massive game.
A great team. It gives us a great foundation to build on. So yeah, there's a lot of confidence. There's a lot of good feeling within the group, but measured with that, you know, and we know what's coming, and we've got to be ready for it.
The club announced yesterday, Casemiro announced that he'll be leaving during the season. I'm guessing he'll have a pivotal role, but it also raises questions.
Casemiro leaving.
some other players' futures. Harry Maguire, for example, another person's contract's running out.
Harry Maguire?
Had discussions
Good
with him
question,
about
that.
his future. Does he know where his future lies?
I think that's just coming into that time of the season, really, and with contracts and obviously January is January in the window, and kind of working my way through that and coming towards the end of the season in terms of contracts and decisions, and that'll obviously be taken in discussions and in good time, really, and at the right time. So I think the kind of announcement for Cassie, I think was for clarity as much as anything. It was kind of decided anyway, before I arrived. So it's not just a knee-jerk kind of decision, but
Casemiro already.
The type of personality, the character that he is. I think it shows with his performance last week, and where he is mentally and how much it means for him to be here and to finish the season strong. I've already had that conversation with him, and he's desperate to do well and finish well, and it's good to see. So I've got no doubt about him at all.
Michael, just off on that, does that mean that you're going to be involved in these discussions? Because obviously it's a bit of a weird situation that at the moment you're only here until the end of the season, and then clearly the club's got to operate beyond that. I didn't know what kind of input you had into all of these decisions over contracts and targets and what happened.
Yeah, well, for the week or so that it's been so far, I think looking too far down the track hasn't happened just yet. I think it's been the initial thoughts of what's happening now. I think what the important thing for me is any decision I make on my staff mate or the club mate. It's not short term. It's not just to get through to the end of the season. I've got a responsibility to whatever happens next for it to be in a good place and moving forward to make the right decision.
He's having say in what's happening at the club
as time goes on.
I wouldn't think he would. I wouldn't think he would have that much of a say, but he clearly is.
The injuries. Manchester Lake, when he was first missing, Ruben said, I'd be back next week, and now we're months down. But is he anywhere near coming?
Hopefully, yeah. He had a bit of a setback initially before I arrived, I think. And,
not good news on De Ligt.
It's maybe not so much a setback. I think it just was a little bit slower than we'd hoped. But he's certainly getting closer, and
still not 100% fit, unfortunately.
So,
really need to see him back.
Exact time he'll be back and around it, and it'd be great to have him back.
Michael, how are you feeling about Arsenal?
Yeah, looking forward to the game. It's a big challenge, They're a very good team. It's pretty obvious to say that they've got so many strong points to the game and the squad, and so it's a big challenge. They're there where they are for a reason, in the Champions League where they are for a reason, and so we're fully aware of that. Not taking that lightly at all. It's we feel we're in a good place, and we're going there looking forward to the game. So it's where we want to be, in that with that real positive and that energy and that enthusiasm, and to go there and be positive. But for sure we know that it's not going to come easy.
It's not going to come easy. It's not going to come easy. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I mean, look, he goes on, and you can watch it in your own time. But them are the main points that we need to pick on, and what he had to say. It goes on a little bit longer, but look, Carrick comes across, I think, really well, calm, collected, and I wanted to get them comments of him, of course, looking forward to the Arsenal match, because it is going to be a big test for Carrick and his players. Was last week just a bounce? The new manager bounced back, and is this week going to be the real test for United? The clash of the Titans against the top team in the Premier League, undoubtedly, right now, is Arsenal. They are absolutely storming ahead, and same thing in the Champions League. Can they be stopped, though? If there is any one team that can actually do it, and I know Arteta will be thinking this as well, in the Premier League, in the last 2 games, they've ended up drawing. So they're not on, shall we say, a winning streak in the Premier League. Yes, in all competitions, they're still doing pretty well. But in the Premier League, they did end up drawing twice in the last 2 games, which Could it mean that they're ready for a loss now against United? I'd love for it to happen. We'll need, again, like I said, against the Man City game, we will need divine intervention to get any kind of result away from home at the Emirates. It's going to be very difficult, knowing that the team that we're going up against is high on confidence. They are just... Right now, they've got this belief within them that they can't lose. Everything that they do has to come off. And even if they go 1-0 down or 2-0 down, you can see Arsenal still giving it their all and coming back. So United, I don't know how they're going to do this. I really don't. I hope, well, look, I hope it's not a battering. That's all I'm thinking. I'm thinking I don't want the players to have any confidence knocked out of them. The City game gave us huge confidence, and I really was not happy that we've got Arsenal the very next game and we can't go on some kind of confidence building run, a winning streak where we can actually build the players up and slowly have them believing back in themselves. Because let's be honest, they have not been that team. They've not been a team of belief and confidence. I felt like that City game, I felt like the players actually felt they were worth it. They were good enough to compete against the big teams. So against Arsenal, yes, we had a very good game in the first game of the season, but look, lots has happened since then. It seems like a distant memory, that first game. I was at Old Trafford, the sun was shining, really nice day, and well, we know what happened. We know what happened. It was a 1-0 defeat. Lucky win, I'd say, for Arsenal. But I think Arsenal have just gone up and up and up and up, and their belief is just through the roof right now. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the potential result prediction, if you have one already. I mean, yeah, let's hear it, guys. Let's hear it. Let's also hear what you think about the lineups. I know for sure that I don't think the lineup's going to change. I'd be surprised if the lineup changes. He's also hinted in the press conference, I didn't play it, but you can listen to it if you need to, which is that he might not be playing Sesko again. He might still be on the bench. Again, I'm not bothered about that. I really am not. If he puts out the same team against Arsenal that we had last week, I'd be happy. But I think Carrick might do it and might not do it. It depends. It depends what he wants to. If he wants to play mind games with Arteta, he might shift things around. He might change a few things. I'm not quite sure how. Maybe drop Menu. I'm not saying he should do that. I like Menu, but I maybe thinking he might put someone else in there, maybe Ugarte. Is he good enough to start though? Is it going to be a negative move? There's lots of question marks that you'll have over Carrick's selection. Will that instill confidence in the players if he makes some kind of negative defensive move? Or is he going to keep the team as it is and say, just go out there and do the same job? Go and do what you did against City. But we all know that's going to be, it's two different teams. Very difficult to put the same team out against Arsenal and expect the same result. I know lots of fans are worried, but also confident, quietly confident, shall I say. Just like me, I'm quietly confident. I feel like United have got a chance. I just feel like they can go again. I think they can go and get some kind of win against... or a result. I won't say a win because maybe that's been too optimistic, but I feel like we've still got a chance. We've got a chance to go in there and do something. Maybe make life difficult for him. Maybe make it a tight game and it might be a 1-0 either way. Not sure. It's so difficult. Now, I was reading up on everything, all the stats and everything, and it looked like Arsenal are clear favourites. I think it was like Opta said it was like 70% win chance for Arsenal against United. And that's because, of course, they're going off the stats. They're not going off the result against Man City and how the team looked like. That's why human eyes are better than AI eyes, right? So AI doesn't really see what's going on the pitch. We know that 2-0 win should really have been 5 or 6-0 against Man City. We absolutely wiped the floor with City. But if we can do the same against Arsenal on the weekend, I think we're in with a chance. We're in with a chance if we can put in that kind of performance. I think it'll be a tight game. It won't be a clear-cut game where we could get 4-5 against Arsenal, but I feel like we've got a good enough team to put in a decent performance. Of course, Arsenal, different team, different defence. They've got one of the best defences in the league in comparison to City, so it's not going to be easy to break them down, but they are beatable. They are stoppable. So I don't want to be going into this game thinking, right, we can't do anything and we're just going to have to sit there and take it and just get battered. I think we can do a job on them. We just have to have that confidence level right high up there and go into this game with the belief that we can walk away with the result. And it would be absolutely amazing. And, well, if we win that game on the weekend, then I'm thinking, look, I'm sure we're going to start hearing more and more noises about give the guy the full-time job, give him the job. Now, before I go into reviewing the match further, let me just bring you up to date with all the latest news coming out of Man United, what's going on, what's not. First of all, transfers. We're near the end of the transfer window, and we're still hearing lots of noises about United still looking to sign somebody. Still, a signing is on the horizon. We're being told that it's just down to whether Ineos and the board, obviously, who represent Ineos, and the Carrick decide to go after a certain player. They're still not yet fully aware. So let me bring it up for you, actually. Let me bring this up for you. So this is it. Manchester United are waiting to find out if Michael Carrick does or doesn't want a short-term extra player in the midfield. If he says yes, the club will try in the final days on the transfer window. That's from Ben Jacobs. That's weird for me. That's weird. I mean, we know that they've had a meeting. Why would he not simply? Why wouldn't he say? Why wouldn't he say, yes, I need a player, or no, I don't? I mean, we should know by now. We should know by now whether he's wanting a midfielder or he's not wanting a midfielder. Which one is it? Let us know so we can actually get on with things. I suspect he's turned around and said, look, I don't think he's going to put his foot in it. That's what Carrick's like. He's not going to say, oh yeah, I need this player, go and get it for me. Go get this player for me. I don't think he's going to say that. I think what he will say is something like, oh, look, yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys. If you want to bring a player in, yes, that's fine, or else I'm fine with what I've got. I think he's just going to be sitting on the fence. So make what you want of that. We have heard rumours about Neves coming in. I think he'd be. I don't know if he'd be a loan move. Then there's questions about bringing in loan players. Again, I'm not 100% sure whether United are going to be able to do anything in the remaining days. I think the more time passes and the more we get closer to the deadline day, the more likely it is going to be a loan move, if it is going to be a move for anybody, or if United are just going to say, look, we're not willing to spend any money in this transfer window. Let's just stick with Carrick, see what he does, and let's put all our money in the summer transfer window and go after our key targets there. I think that's what we're going to probably get. Knowing Ineos and the way how they've been dealing with things at United since they've got here, they don't really like the January transfer window. Whatever that reason is, I'm not quite sure, but I think they're going to be more than happy to wait on and spend their money in the summer, knowing they've got a manager coming in, whoever that might be, and then they can sit down with that new manager and say, right, who do you want? Right now, Carrick's a free hit for Ineos because they know he's not going to ask for anybody and they don't need to go and buy players for him. So they know there's no point actually wasting our money right now because we might have to, satisfy a new manager, a Tuchel or whoever comes in. We might have to satisfy them in the summer and we will have to have all our money then because we don't want another situation where a manager comes in and we can't back him with the signings. So I'm hoping that's how Ineos Ineos are thinking, but you never know. You never know with Ineos what they actually believe or thinking. But moving on to another story that's making headlines, and it's been making headlines for some time, which is Joshua Zirkzee. Now, we heard before the transfer window opened that Zirkzee is going to be someone who's going to get sold, and United are going to say goodbye to him in the January transfer window. As it transpires, we're not getting that news anymore. We are still hearing noises, though, that there's several clubs that are still really interested in signing Zirkzee, and they want him. They want him out of United. Will United make that decision? I still think that there is a possibility, come the end of the transfer window, United sell Zirkzee. Or they might loan him out. I don't know. Again, I think Zirkzee should stick around. I think if I was Ineos, if they're not going to bring anybody else in, they cannot afford to let players leave. So I believe that they could probably get a better price for Zirkzee if they leave him till the end of the season, and come in the summer, they can negotiate with several more clubs that come into the market in the summer. Just like United, there's lots of other clubs who probably don't like coming into the transfer market in January. They like to get the season over and done with. They can work out where they've ended up, what their finances are, and what they need for the next season. And that's what I feel like they will be looking for in Zirkzee. So I think they'll probably think, well, we're not under pressure to sell him. We might as well keep him. Yes, he's not going to play much football. That's the only negative, unless Carrick decides and Zirkzee decides, right, I want out. I don't want to sit here on the bench. World Cup is coming around the corner. Can I feature for the Netherlands? I don't know. I don't know if he would even make it in that squad. But I'm like I said, I'm not actually sure whether the Netherlands squad is desperate for Zirkzee to be playing. They might need him. But anyways, let's go to the chat, and then we will see. We'll make our predictions near the end of the show. We'll make our predictions, and I'll give you my lineup for the game. And it might shock some of you, it might not, but I'll give you my lineup anyway. Nish says Palmer is everything. Forget everyone else. Cole, it is. Mank, born and bred. He's Nish is feeling it. Nish is feeling the love for Cole Palmer. I think. Look, like I said in this morning's show, if we can go and get Palmer, if he's available, and if he has any desire to leave Chelsea, we should be all over that. Seriously. Especially because he wants to come up north and he wants to come back to Manchester. And if that is the case, well, it makes sense. Why would you let City come in and sign him? And we know City will try. If he becomes available, he will be the man in demand. I think there'll be other clubs that will be looking at him very carefully. And actually, saying that, now, when initially the story broke about Palmer, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, I don't believe this shit. This is just rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Made up by some idiot somewhere who just wants to have a laugh, right? But more and more sources are now reporting the same story about Cole Palmer. And in fact, the manager of Chelsea was asked today about those rumours, and he wasn't 100% convincing about Cole Palmer. And that was really interesting to hear from him. I'll try and get the proper words for what he said and not misquote him. So seriously, it was crazy what he said. I was watching him and I was thinking, he doesn't sound convincing. There actually is. There is something behind the smoke. There is fire. There is some fire going on at Chelsea, man. I don't know what it is, but there is something going on with Palmer and Chelsea. Rick, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well out in Canada. Thank you for joining us. I know it must be late there. I think if the results keep on coming, we should give him a shot as manager. He is undefeated so far. Do you know what? His record is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And that's why I think, look, if we get a result against Arsenal, I can see lots and lots of fans coming out. In fact, Sky Sports did a poll on the fans saying, should Carrick get the full-time job or not? And 70% of the Man United fans that they interviewed or polled said that he should be given the job. 70% after that one Man City game. I must admit, I was surprised at the number. I mean, I was thinking, which fans have they gone and approached and asked the question, should Carrick be given the job full time? I mean, that seems quite a lot to me, quite high. I'd say 50-50 maybe. Even that would be high. But 70%, I think, I don't know who, like I said, I don't know which fans they've been talking to, because I'm not in favour of giving him the job right now. Of course, if he has an extraordinary season and in the next 16 games he wins a majority of them and convincingly and makes us look like an absolutely different team, i.e. like against City, then I would say, yeah, that he's in contention. But I don't want to get carried away. Do not want to get carried away. I feel like United fans get carried away really quickly, and we've got to keep our feet on the ground. I was saying this immediately after that game. I said, look, guys, yes, it was City. Yes, we had a really good performance, but we've got Arsenal next game. It's a massive one. If we don't get Arsenal a convincing result against Arsenal, and if we don't perform against Arsenal, it was just that light switch on and off moment that we've had throughout this season. One game we play brilliant, next game we play absolutely shit, and it goes on and on and on, and we don't know why. So that is the biggest question mark for me in these players. Can we put in back-to-back good performances? That's what I'll be looking for. And if we can't, then yeah, we've clearly got the same problem that we had under Ruben Amorim. Carrick hasn't resolved it. So let's wait and see. Top three, lads. I mean, I do like the confidence niche. The top three, it is indeed. Look, I have said it from day one. I want Champions League football, and I think we can achieve that without a doubt. Without a doubt, regardless of what the result's going to be on Sunday, I still believe that we've got Champions League football in our sights. We've got it in our hands, and it's us who are going to let it go or keep it. That's my opinion on that. Dogu is going to dominate. Mainoo's better than Zubimendi. Cass is better than Declan Rice. Get up, lads. Look, we have to have every single player of ours on top form. If we get them on top form like we did against City, I think, yeah, we're in for a show. We're in for a massive clash of, like I said, the Titans. That's what I was on about. That's what I was saying. This is the big boys. This is the game that, you know, you're always up for. This isn't about previous form, previous games. It's two teams that know they have to turn up, or the fans will not be happy. So it's going to be a massive clash of the two teams that have always had some historic clashes in the past. Rick says some fans are so flighty. They get a few ties and want to tear everything apart, while I am wary of Ineos. They are trying to repair Glazer's damage. Yeah, I mean, look, Ineos, still, jury's out for me. Stay compact, defend you for your lives, simple instructions. And the City game was almost like watching Sir Alex Ferguson football. Yeah, look, that was the closest thing I've seen. I swear. And I watched a lot of United, and I had to say, whilst I was watching it, I was like, this reminds me of, you know, times that we thought we've left behind, far behind. I don't care anymore. The Glazers and Ineos aren't going anywhere. The 1958 are sound, but won't have any effect. If they sign Cole and Anderson, I'm happy. Look, I don't think that we're gonna see the back of the owners right now. I cannot see that happening. I know the protest is planned for the next game, but I really can't see anything changing, because these guys are here for long term. I just want to see good football. Yeah, me too, man. That's the key thing, to watch United and enjoy watching them. I just want Anderson and Palmer, get them, and I won't complain about Glinios. And I know we are taking things seriously. I think I've been saying, I said, look, the January transfer window will be a telltale sign of where Ineos are taking this club. Let's be honest, the January transfer window and the shambles that have gone on is not a good sign. It's not a good sign that Ineos know what they're doing and are taking us in a certain direction. That is my issue with Ineos and the Glazers. Can things change? Of course they can. Can we improve with a new manager and another transfer window? Yes. I think that signings are an important indicator to me as to where Ineos are wishing to take this club. If they make the right signings, yeah, we know we're on the right path. If they don't make the right signings, we know Ineos are not that team. Everyone else has been poor except the Gunners. Yeah, look, everyone else has been really, really poor. I think I look at Arsenal, I think they've not been fully tested either. I feel like we can actually test them this weekend. And I'm for sure, I'm going to be watching Arteta, and he will know that there's something not up. You get it? He will know this team of United cannot be taken lightly. We need an established striker to help our young striker. Well, Rick, this is what the morning show was about. Apologies, firstly, about the morning. I don't know what was going on with the streaming services, but something was down and not working. But the morning show about the news on Mateta wanting Man United, it makes absolute sense to me to go and sign someone like Mateta, bring an experienced Premier League striker in who can help with getting goals, add some goals to this team, which we still need. Yes, we got Mbumo. Yes, we've got the other attackers who are bringing in the goals, but why not add more? Why not add another one? And of course, with Sesko being young and inexperienced in the Premier League, to see how Mateta does the job is very, very good for him to have around. So for me, that is important. Yes, it is. Luman, welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. If Carrick keeps the same lineup, then he isn't a tactical manager. He has to change his lineups according to the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition. Good point there. Good point. So this is it. So I was in two minds. I'll be honest with you. I was in two minds because I was thinking, what lineup would I put out? And then immediately I said, I'd put out the same lineup because they did so well. But then I backtracked a little bit and I realised, actually, if we play the same lineup, that doesn't guarantee that we're going to do the same job on Arsenal, which are a different team to Man City. The way they set up, the way they play are totally different. So we need to look for weaknesses in this Arsenal team. Will Carrick be able to pick out the weaknesses and pick the right team to do the job? Maybe we might see a different formation. Maybe we might see a different style of United that we saw against City. We might see a different one against Arsenal. Who knows? It will be really interesting to see, though. But then, would you blame him for keeping the same team? I know you're saying tactically he needs to change it, but you could still play the same players and give them different instructions. But like I said, look, I can see him making changes. I can see him making changes maybe in the midfield. Never change what works except for injuries. Yeah, well, this is it. Now, these are the two ideas or 2 points of view that you've got. So one point of view is I've always known, winning teams that do well, you don't really change them. If they're winning, you've got the confidence in them players, just send them back out again. But then at the same time, tactically, nowadays, you've got to change things up sometimes as well to surprise the opposition. But who knows? Arteta might not be expecting these players to play next week. He might be expecting someone else to be featuring in the weekend game. So it's anyone's guess what actually happens. I would like to see maybe a few tweaks, but again, I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen. If you don't change, then means you're playing according to your strengths only, and if you change, then it means you're considering the tactics of your opposition as well. Wait until the results prove he deserves the job. Look, I think if he can do a good enough job, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's no point discussing that and getting carried away with it without seeing what he's actually doing for the team. I'm not interested in the future, just game by game. Yeah, I think that's the best way. That is the best way right now to take this United team. Let's not get carried away and start thinking, right, end of the season, we're going to be doing this, that, or the other. It's more, let's actually work out game by game how United can achieve the best that they can and get the best out of these players. So next game, Arsenal, then the game after that, we'll come to that and we'll discuss that. Let's not start talking about qualifying for Champions League and doing this. It's a long, long way to go yet, and we've still got plenty of games that can make a huge difference. Imagine the performance of Cole would put in a United shirt, legendary. Nish has got carried away, and I think Nish is just dreaming right now. He's in dreamland. Imagine having a balanced midfield with parts of all styles we face. Yeah, look, I think that's a good point there. Palmer has the potential to be a modern day hero. Rooney, CR7 level. Look, if he comes, he will be one of those signings that you can see that will make a huge impact to this United team and become, a legendary player of the club. But I don't know if we should be talking about it right now. I just think we might be getting absolutely get carried away with it. These fans will pressure the club to go for Palmer for 150, just like they pressured the club for Sancho. Look, I can't see Ineos even getting anywhere near that. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying I don't think it's going to happen, because I don't think Ineos will get any funds together to put and go and sign Palmer. They've got number 10s already in Kuna and Mbeumo. They might be thinking we don't need another number 10. So that is why I think the chances of signing him are slim. But do I think we should go for him if he's available? Absolutely. If he's available, if any player's available on that level, we should be going and getting them. We shouldn't be sitting back saying, oh no, let him go to another club. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's going off to City. I think watching a player go off to your rival club is not a good idea. I personally think it's something that we should avoid and should actually do the best to kind of even just put a cheeky offer in, see what happens. Besides, who wants to play for Chelsea? United when United are playing well. I think that's what he's saying. He's saying, look, he's not happy with Chelsea. He's not happy with what's going on there and wants to move. Palmer hardly creates at Chelsea. He is all himself. So Luhmann's not a big fan of Palmer. And look, I get that, because there's lots of fans I've spoke to as well who are like not convinced on Palmer coming in and doing a job. It's freezing there. It's 2:30 p.m. Oh wow, -4. Oh wow, that is crazy, man. That is crazy. You make it feel tropical here. It's about 8 degrees, 10 degrees here, and I feel like it's cold. But I do not envy you, Rick. I do not envy you. But thank you for joining us anyway. I was in Calgary in 2019 for a month. I wanted to settle there, but the weather scared me worse than Toronto. Wow. I've not been. I've heard it's freezing, and Rick does not make me want to get on a plane anytime soon and jump over there either. I just feel like, I can't do it. I freeze in 8 degrees. I'm freezing my balls off. I'm like literally, oh my God, I can't handle this. And I've got a big, long duvet coat that I wear just because I just, don't want to even feel the cold. I absolutely hate it. Short traffic, great chat to you. Peace, y'all. Oh, thanks, Rick. You take it easy, mate. Get some sleep. Espionage. We're getting Palmer, lads. How's that? Espo. Thanks for joining the channel, mate. Hope you're doing well. You say Manchester United don't screw up against Arsenal. You literally rested 9 to 12 days since Derby to the 25th of January. So draw against Arsenal or even beat them. Manchester City most likely beat Wolves. Well, look, on this occasion, I think we're all on the same side here. I'm happy to do a job for City right now. You can battle it out with them, in the coming months for who gets that top spot. I think City need to improve. I think you've got lots of problems right now. Not quite sure why, because at one point it looked like City were just on a roll and they were just going to catch up and they're going to take over Arsenal, or at least be neck and neck with them. But in the last couple of weeks, there's just been a drop-off. Don't know why, but there's been a drop-off. I'm hoping that they can pick themselves up again and go again. And I'm not saying this because I like City in any way. I just want to see Arsenal struggling to win the league, and I want to see them tested. The worst thing in the league is when you just get a runaway team that just simply have no one competing with them and they win the league easily, because I feel like they're not being tested. I feel like teams that need to win the league must be tested, must be put under pressure, and they can crumble. And we've seen with this Arsenal team, well, not most of these players, but we've seen with Arsenal generally, they do crumble. They do end up losing games near pressure points when they really need to win, they struggle. And I'm hoping that this weekend is one of those moments where they are under pressure, where they're struggling, and United can come and take advantage of that. That's what I'm really hoping for. Dave, welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. The board and owners should really focus on the midfield. Saw a report saying that Anderson won't really be attracted by Champions League only. We can do an Mbeumo and Kuna with him. Oh, I wish you're right, mate. I wish you're right. The noises I'm getting is that City are really keen on Anderson. And if it's not City, it's Liverpool. So, yeah, are United going to be up for the fight for Anderson, or will they just turn around and look elsewhere? I fear that Ineos are not the type of owners that will battle it out with the likes of City or Liverpool for a signing of the likes of Anderson. Would I like to see them do that? Of course I would. Of course, man. We need to go and get these kind of signings to make the difference. Will it happen? God knows. God knows. Because right now, the track record looking at Ineos, I don't think they've battled it out for any player. Maybe Sesko. Okay, so they've done it with Sesko. You could argue that Newcastle were in for him and they pulled one on them and got in there and got Sesko. But I think that was more Christopher Livell, the recruitment director, than anybody else. I think he was a driving force behind that move for Sesko. Can we do it with Anderson? If we get in early, but I'm hearing that the noises coming out is that City are the ones who are leading the race. But if you're right in saying that he's not interested just simply in Champions League, well, then that opens the gate for United to come back in again and try and get the guy. How many supporters City have? Oh, yeah, they were all refunded by the players who were... you know what, Nish, I've got to say, that's a respectful move by the players. I mean, you wouldn't get a lot of clubs coming out and doing that. I really want us to win against Arsenal. Their fans are talking as if they're playing against a League One team. Yeah, they've been at it, man. They've been at it. My phone's been off the ringer, man. Everyone's been texting me, Arsenal fans telling me all sorts, get ready to be embarrassed and all sorts, and they're ready to do a job on us. That's what they keep saying. I mean, I'm hoping that we don't get embarrassed, because these guys seem confident, man. They seem confident. The Man City fans. Sorry, not Man City fans, the Arsenal fans. Spot on. City are really onto him. Their targets have been Semenyo, Gui, Livramento, Anderson, and so far they've got 2 out of their 4 prime targets. Yeah, look, the problem with City is that they just tap them up different, They go in there, they speak with them, they let them know about the project. They just... There's an attraction to City right now for players. Players like the setup that's at City. They like Pep. They like the back room. They know it's stable. They know there's not going to be much circus. There's not going to be a circus going on there. There's not going to be much upheaval. It's a steady Eddie kind of club, and they know what they're going to get when they sign up for City. Whereas United, on the other hand, they can't guarantee that they're going to have a steady project that they're going into. There's always some fanfare. There's always some kind of drama at United, and even City. Even Liverpool can't promise that them to have a stable time. There's questions on Slot even being the manager next season, and I think he's going to get the sack at the end of the season. I just don't think Liverpool are going to do what United did with Ruben Amorim. I think they've seen that is quite a problem as well if you get rid of the manager mid-season. So they're learning from that and thinking, right, let's not do that, but let's discuss this at the end of the season. Man City have so many important defenders, injuries, but Pep brought Gui, and Mark should make his debut against Wolves. Pep should bench Rico, Lewis, and Alan Bums, Kozanov and Dewey. I think Mark Gui coming in is going to make your team a solid defence. He's going to come in, slip straight in, and he's going to play some seriously good football for you guys. So that's a really big signing, really good signing. They're giving a huge wage too. If they're giving Gui 300k a week, they're surely going to give Anderson 350, 375, which are crazy wage for us to compete with. Yeah, that's the problem. The problem with it is that we're priced out. We're priced out, and this is why I was saying in yesterday's show that when I was doing the news on Man United and the financial not forecast, the financials for the last year and how much where they are in the table of rankings. They're not doing too well, man. They're not doing too well, and this is the problem. They can't go out and give these big contracts anymore. They're not that club, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with some more updates as to the transfer news. Are United going to be looking at signing anybody? If it was me, and I'm thinking right now, shall we go and sign a bit part player now that might make a difference, might not, or do we go and get serious and get Anderson or Wharton? Well, my thoughts are, let's just go and get the big boys in. That's what we need. Anyway, make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe. You're watching the Man United Stream channel. Goodbye, guys.